You guys, if you don't know, this is the amazing Laura Bowman from BBR. She is one of the greatest humans. Yay! She's one of the greatest people in the whole world. I love her. I've known her for a really long time. How many years? 15?
Oh, easily. Could
I
be
think
more.
so. Oh my God, it's so cool, you guys. She took me on when I was a kid as an actor. She believed in me, Laura.
Oh, I still believe in you and everything. Are you kidding? You're the best.
Oh my God, I love you so much. Seriously.
I love you.
You guys, Laura is amazing. Laura came and saw me at a show. What made you go to that show?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, one of those.
Who's that? You didn't rep anybody in that show, right? You didn't rep Christopher or Thomas. I don't think
so. Was it just a scouting thing?
Yeah, do you do that? That's my first question. Do you? Because Laura's amazing. She came. So anyway, let me reverse for a second, you guys. I met Laura when I did I Love You Perfect Now Change. I've told you guys about this. When I put on my own showcase, it was like $20,000. I had no money. I was waiting tables full-time in the morning and full-time at night to get money to do the show. It was amazing. And Laura came to see it. And afterwards, she was like, I want to represent you. And then I lost my shit. I was so excited. Because you guys are the best. You're the best. You guys are just I lost my mind. So, so do you still scout when you can? Do you guys still go out?
Absolutely. I mean, we definitely will more often scout at places where we do have connections, or if it's a casting director who refers us over to a show. I just, that's going to happen more often than not. But there are still shows that we go to all the time, especially shows like UCB and all of those improv comedy. We often don't know anybody who's doing these shows, and we'll go and we'll scout.
Do you scout? So right after the show, will you say, "Hey, I thought you were awesome. I'd love a meeting," or do you do it?
Oh yeah,
like you did with me all those years ago.
No, I mean, we want them to know that we're there. We want to make a connection and find out kind of what's going on, with their situation. We don't want to push too much if they're already repped and very happy, but we just want to, we want to extend the idea that, listen, like, we loved you, and if you ever are looking, we're here.
Oh my God, like, you guys, I mean, I really mean it when I say that, Laura. I mean, I will never forget when you came up to me after the show and just believed in me. And I was like, there's a God. Because you're out there, it's so hard. You're playing the game and you're doing these shows and you don't have representation, and it's really hard. I know a common question, which I'm going to put some questions up. You guys were amazing. They had great questions for you.
Awesome.
One of the questions was like, how do you get noticed? And I think that, just speaking freely right now, that was how Laura noticed me 15 plus years ago. Was at a show. I was doing a show again. If you're just tuning in, I put all my pennies together with one of my best friends, Adrian. He's still one of my best friends. I was like, hey, you want to do a show? And he was like, let's do a show. And he gave X amount of money. I gave X amount, and we put up this awesome show called I Love You Perfect Now Change. Laura at BBR and a lot of other awesome agents came. And that's how I did it. I realized that I had to, and that's actually what helped me become a casting director. I realized you can't just sit around. You can't wait for the phone to ring, especially now with this pandemic, y'all. This phone ain't going to ring. So you got to be creative.
You have to create your own everything right now.
Yeah. I just said that to my daughter today. We were taking all these pictures and we were doing slates and everything. And she was messing it up. It was really fun. We were having fun. I said, and everyone's always like, do you want to get your kids in the business? And I'm like, no. Yeah. And then I was like, no. And then I was like, Scarty, you want to shoot a commercial? She was like, I do. So we're going to shoot a commercial.
That's great. And you'll have to post it so that we can see.
It's horrible, guys. It's not what I do. But you got to be creative. I think have to. And I love that you guys still go to shows. Because Absolutely. I think that I always tell everybody, even if you're not making money and you have to, even theater, if you're only getting, I don't know what the, equity is, $20 or something for these black box, at least you're not paying for a class. It's like a free class. So
yeah.
It said, did you also invite the casting director? What does it say? To the show you made. I was the casting director, guys. That's the
you were everything.
I sure was. Well, you see what happened was when I decided to do my own show, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to cast it. And that's why I was like, who did you rep? Because I cast it also. I was like creatively casting. I was like, who has a really good agent that I want to come to the show?
Yes.
And so I cast the show. It was my favorite thing I ever worked on. And it was fantastic. And then after the show, everyone kept saying, who is the casting director? And I was like, what about the actor? But no, and that's how my career blew up, was like, people were like, but the casting was really amazing in that. I'm like, yeah, I know, but and it was like, Laura, again, she's the only one that believes in me on that time by end days. But take that opportunity. I always say that to people. I had no idea I was going to be a casting director. Laura didn't know I was going to be a casting director until one day you were like, girl, you casted all these things.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember when you made the switch, I was like, what just happened?
You're like, do I send you out on stuff still? And I was like, oh. Yeah. But yeah, get out there, guys. I wanted to say that right off the top. Use this time to be creative. We have said this a million times. The fact that Laura, gosh, I mean, I love you, I adore you. That we have got your attention. This is so exciting for everyone right now to just get your amazing personality and expertise.
I'm so happy to be here. I love this kind of interactive stuff, especially right now. Like, the fact that we can't really be out there physically with people. And like you said, right now we can't be going to shows. We can't really be doing all that. This is the next best thing to be able to sort of really connect with people and obviously connect with you. And just to quickly say off what you just were saying, for some of the actors that are listening right now, right now is a great time to be creating content as well. You guys should be at home writing and if you can, do some video work yourself at home, using this time to create, like you said, Dina, it's what I think it's a good way to spend your time.
Yeah, totally. I love that too. Don't just, there's amazing opportunities now with all these Q&As, which I'm freaking out about. When I started seeing it, I was like, yes, everyone's doing these, because that's why we started all these, months ago. We wanted to start giving back to the community. We wanted a way to just open our door. I know when I was an actor, I had so many questions, and being able to talk to a casting director is so hard. And now an agent too, everyone's losing their mind. They're like, we're so excited. But you don't only do these lives, you guys. I think Laura's totally right. And Taryn always says this: be creative. Take this time. I'm gonna shoot a commercial just for fun.
Yes.
Do it, guys. I don't know if you guys follow me personally, but I post up my homeschooling thing. I've done it since the day I started homeschooling Scarlett and Jack, and I'm going to do a big thing at the end. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I've saved a lot of video and a lot of footage and a lot of things. And I think just take what we have right now and just roll with it. I think
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be brilliant.
God. Or terrible. My husband's like, do not post that. I'm too embarrassed. Oh my God. So I wanted to say hi to all of you. I love you all. I'm going to skip really quickly and just say hi to some of my friends. I'm scrolling, and just to say hi. I love you all. Gonzalo's here, and Andrew and Kelly and Larkin, and just want to give some shout outs. Camille Todoro. I'm saying your name totally wrong right now because I'm looking at your
No, Camille Todoro. Yeah,
I said it right. I was like, Carrie and Charmaine. Hi, Charmaine. All of you guys. I love you all. Thank you for tuning in. Taryn is home. I love you, Taryn.
Yay.
Taryn's in, and your Meg is here. Megan and Matt Cannon. And I love you all. So thanks for coming back and checking us out. We will still be doing our live on Friday.
Dina, you switched your camera, sweetheart. We're now looking at your
view, I guess. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay.
Now it's my Hawaii cup, guys. This is where I want to be in Hawaii. Trying to get shout outs. I'm a train wreck. Oh my God. Okay, you guys. So here's some questions. Okay. One, a lot of people ask, curious, is Laura taking general meetings right now? I have had my eye on BBR.
That's a really good question. So we've been trying to figure out how to do this throughout the pandemic. Yeah. It's proven to be a little hard. I'm not going to lie. The idea of general meetings, because here's the thing about when you meet with agents, most of the time, if it's not just a one person, one-stop shop, you're meeting with an entire team. So it's a little harder right now to get everybody together and let's say do a Zoom, Skype meeting, so to speak, it's hard for us to do that right now. I want to give the best answer to this as possible, and I want it to be yes, it's no problems whatsoever. But the reality is, it's really, really tough. It's not that we're not looking. What we're doing right now is we're looking at everyone's material that is submitting to us, and we are stockpiling it for later. Once this whole thing is over, we're going to go right back to it. Right now, because we've had a few managers saying, "Hey, let's do a Skype meeting, between the team and the actor." And it's we just don't feel like even though this is a great tool for connection, it's a very different process when you're face to face in front of somebody. As you know, Dina, I mean, like having somebody in the room, you get a real feel for them, when you're directing them and you can talk to them and you can kind of see what they're all about. That can be a little difficult over Skype. So we're putting the actual physical general meetings on hold until after this thing is over, but in no way, shape, or form are we discarding anybody who is submitting at this time.
Great. That's great. You guys, you hear that? Yes, BBR, I love it. They're so taking stuff. Laura's taking stuff, but they're not going to. I get it. It's hard to do meetings. I'm having a blast doing Zoom, but I miss hugs and I miss energy. Just like you, I'm a very I love meetings, and so, I mean, even though I'm casting is definitely in a weird spot right now, as everything is kind of slow and holding up right now. I'm kind of glad that it's not going to be the new norm, that we're all going to still get into each other's rooms. When it goes back, it's going to be back to what we've done.
For sure. For sure.
I think people are like, maybe callbacks go away. I don't think callbacks are going to go away. I think every creative that I know, and if anyone's out here, hit me up. But I know you guys like to get out of the office. They're like, casting. Like Abby said, we're smoking hot, by the way. Abby Carpenter.
Love Abby.
Love you. Abby loves when they can sneak away and they can get out for a second. So I don't think that those will go away, which kind of gets me excited. Because I was like, if we start having all these auditions and then all these self-tapes, then it will go away.
Yeah.
And they'll go, it's so easy.
Do you think, though, that the first calls might end up being video auditions after? Not all the time, but do you think that because of this happening, that it might push first calls? Because I definitely agree with you. Callbacks are never, ever going to be Skyped after this. It's always going to be in person, because you have to get a feel for somebody face to face. But first calls, what do you think about that?
I think that budgets are slashed anyway. So if anybody could get, if this is the time that people could be like, all right, let's try to just do self tapes. It's going to cut out definitely a lot of, the manpower. I think. But I'm still going to push for it, because I think us being in the room, you've got to, you said this on your live session director, you've got somebody there that knows, half of the battle is telephone. It's a game of telephone. What did the director say? What did, everyone say? And then me telling Taryn. And I think the reason that I'm so fortunate and lucky to have such a great team, I worked with them for a really long time. So the game of telephone is it's a great game. Yeah. There isn't this lack of communication, but I think a lot of times that will happen naturally with self-tapes. People are going to send in stuff that's all over the board. It's not going to look as sharp. It's not going to feel, I think it's going to be harder for people. I think everyone's getting savvy, and I know Casting Frontier does it, but a lot of my friends, they don't, my casting director friends, they're like, I'm not uploading all that stuff. It's a lot of work. So I think most of us are going to say we still want the first call to be. But I think some jobs are going to be self-tape. Again, I think we're lucky. I know it's really slow right now, but in a way we're lucky, because I feel like our industry, in my opinion, it's not going to be as impacted where in 2008 that smash happened. People took those budgets, right?
Yep.
And then the budgets became different.
Right.
Now you can't do anything. You can't really take much. There's only so much work you're getting right now. So I think that they'll still do it. I still think the budgets are going to be tricky, but I still think we're going to.
I like to hear that. That's good.
I think so. I thought at first I was like, oh, but again, I don't think if I was getting 4 or 5, if I was as busy as I usually am, absolutely. They'd be like, hell, this is so easy. Let's not waste the money. Let's just do self-tape. Let's not pay a facility. But no one's going to know, because it's not happened yet. I might change my mind in a month or 2 months when we start rolling again. And then I don't really want Karen or Mandy in that room. I think what my plan is, I'm going to have them in the room. and I'm going to do light days. So really light, only a couple from each agency. But then I'm going to say, Laura, send me X amount more. That is self-tape.
Very interesting. That's really good to know. That's an interesting. I like that. Okay.
I'm doing it because I kind of want to still show them that like you need this communication.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that so that's what I'm gonna do, and then I'll just space it out like one every 10 minutes, one every 15 minutes, so that's just nobody in the lobby, nobody in the room, but we're still doing it. We're still having live communication. And this is like, I'm talking like July or whenever everybody's back.
Absolutely. Because that's another thing that we're going to have to figure out in general as an industry is how we abide by these new social norms that are going to be, don't want to say instituted, but they're going to be, they're guidelines that they're going to want people to follow, which is, the staggered start times and making sure that, lobbies like your lobby isn't too crowded. And how is that going to affect our business at the end of the day? Like, and the ad agencies that you work with, are they going to be able to see everybody that they need to see? But that's a great solution by saying, okay, we're going to send some people in physically. We're going to do self-tapes in another way. Like that's a good solution until we figure out what our new normal is.
And it's more so because I don't want it to go away. I don't want us to suddenly have to do this half of what we do is contact, like you and I. We're big contact people. Like you said, like, I don't know if I can take meetings because I need that, this,
Yep.
Yep. So that's my goal, is to like fight for that. It's just like, let's have both.
Yep.
And again, I'm glad if I was doing like 5, 6, 7 right now, a week, like usual, it would be scary because it would be the new norm. And we would cut it out for sure. They'd be like, oh, great. Budget's going to be 2,000 less. Let's do it. And then I would be scared. I'd be like,
I feel you.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So let's take another question. Let's see what we got here. Someone said, do you see the industry? This was Brandon turning into self-tapes. Isn't that so funny? I got to just show you.
Funny that we were just talking about that.
It's like you saw our stuff, Laura.
Yep.
Okay, what makes you call, this is a good one from Carrie. What makes you call an actor in from an email submission?
Okay.
What makes you call an actor?
That's a really good question.
Yeah,
it's one of the things that I always like to tell actors too is that I think it's really important to be very succinct in emails. We don't want to be reading pages and pages and pages. I mean, ultimately, we're just going to end up skimming it anyways. So you really want to pinpoint the most important things that you want to stand out. It's always better when someone's personality shines through in a submission. That something that's going to make us chuckle is probably going to leave a lasting impression. Of course, you want to put your materials in, but a big no-no is sending an email that's going to override our server with tons of video and tons of photos, and then all of a sudden all of BBR's email is down. So try to avoid that. But yeah, you need your materials, you need, your headshot, your resume, a link to your reel, ideally is what we want to look at. And yeah, some personality in that, you say a cover letter, because that would be what it would be in a physical form. Your email, just something that grabs our attention, has some personality, but is quite succinct is going to be the best way about it.
Can you give us a little example of somebody that like stood out to you pretty fast, like something somebody said? Or
oh gosh, that's I mean, I gotta tell you, I see so many of these all the time, all day. Like I just try, honestly, like if you were to here's one that isn't so much even necessarily like a funny thing, but if let's say that you happen to be doing a co-star or guest star on a TV show, that is a great time to spread the news about something that you're doing that's current, that we can look at, that we can watch. Somebody who's actively out working, you have something to showcase in that email is going to grab our attention. Some sort of accolade that happens. That's just something that's sort of off the top of my head that I'm thinking of that can grab my attention. But personality wise, that's kind of a hard thing for me to say, like, oh, you gotta say this and you gotta say that. It's it's more just we want someone who's genuine and not somebody who's trying to tap dance. That's a big one because we can see that a mile away. Someone who's tap dancing and trying to impress, it's like, ugh. You know,
no, I like that. Be genuine. Don't tap dance, y'all. Genuine. Do not tap dance.
Just be genuine.
Unless you're at a show and Laura can come see you tap dance. Oh, Scarlett wants to say hi. Say hi.
Scarlett!
I was telling her how we're going to shoot a commercial together.
I was
helping her do the hands. I can't do hands. I can't. She kept it. Cut. It was awesome. Well, that's so funny because I was saying last week, someone said to us, like, what makes it stand out in the submission? Like when you're going through submissions, like what stands out? And I was like, for example, this one guy with this T-Mobile job, he was so funny. He wrote like in his submission note, something very clever. He was just like, my girl always runs their bill up and then just doesn't want to pay. So I could really use this job, which is like a very funny and not only so, I literally was like, select. He's coming in. I just want to meet him. Or like if somebody like for us, I always like if somebody's like, hey, I saw you on this, or like can personalize it. Like I saw like for us, you know, like, oh yeah, you know, we, you know, I don't know, like I saw you on live. We see it like for our submission notes, something to stand out.
Some sort of personalization is huge. Anything that you can attach some sort of personal information to, definitely a big thing because that's automatically going to catch my eye and go, I want to read more. Right. So that's a great note.
Great. Look at these questions. I'm telling you, these are the great questions. What are some tips to help stand out in the room? Well, I don't know. Laura doesn't get to see a lot of that, right? Do you get to see a lot of auditions?
Well, that question, whether or not, because that's sort of a two-parter. Question could be like for you in casting, or that could be like for me, like when they're sitting in front of me.
Yes, good question. Yeah.
So to stand out, I mean, this is just going off of what I just said too. Like the biggest thing, you guys, is like be genuine. Don't try to tap dance. When you try to tap dance in front of me and try to like, you know, try to impress and try to throw things at me, it's definitely not going to serve you well. Ultimately, the meeting that I'm taking with you is to show me who you are walking into an audition room, because ultimately my name is on your back when I send you in to go see Dina. So, you know, I want to see the person who's going to be walking in that room and charming her in, you know, a very genuine way. You know, things to impress us. It's very simple, but, you know, we talk about this all the time. Don't be late. You know, if you are going to be late for some reason, if something happened, please call ahead of time. Oddly enough, you cannot believe how many people will show up or not show up, but show up 30 minutes late with no call and just go, yeah, sorry. And you're like, how is this going to bode for when, you know, we work for you, putting you in an audition room? So it's just simple things, you know, be on time, be courteous in that way, show up as if you were going into an audition. So camera ready-ish, you know, doesn't have to be to the nines, but just so that we can see what you're going to look like, and just bring your materials as well. A lot of actors, and this is not necessarily their fault, but I'm just saying here and now, so you guys know, always bring a hard copy headshot and resume. I know we work in a totally digital time now, but when we take meetings at BBR, we have a whole team who meets you, and we like to be in front of you, not in front of our computer. We want to be in front of you with your materials so that we can ask you questions. I always say to actors, it's such a good idea. Just keep a few headshots and resumes in your car at all times, no matter what. You never know.
Love that.
You never know when someone's going to ask for a hard copy, even at casting. You never know when that's going to happen. And don't you want to be the one actor who said, hold on, I got some in my car?
Totally,
like, you know?
100%. It's funny. So I used to say to people, like, I used to say, like, because I used to take them. I was the one casting that took them for too long. And so everyone would be like, oh, so they knew to bring it, but then I would throw them out and I felt really guilty. So I was like, don't save them. Like, don't bring them anymore. And then recently, like, if someone came straight to callback and they didn't have, you know, of course we don't have the little paper to present at the callback. We usually have like a paper. We didn't have that. They were like, oh, let me just grab my hard copy. And I was like, oh, I haven't heard that in a really long time. And then I was like, oh, yeah, you should have like just 50. You don't have to get 150 because you're not going to need them. 50 will probably go all year. But
Yeah.
I think that's great. Always keep hard copies. I think that's great advice. We're so used to getting rid of that. So
Yeah.
So great. You're so good, Laura. You're the best. Oh, no, we love you.
This is
Okay,
I hope the actors are liking this, because I kind of feel like we're just going out for drinks. Like we're just sitting in front of each other.
These two.
Just talking.
I think they love it.
are
You guys love it.
enjoying
Give us
this.
hearts. They love it. They're giving us hearts. Someone says Sage Moore says how to submit without a referral. Tips for cold emails. Which we basically said. Stand out, right? Just find a way to
again,
not
just
tap dance.
I would just stress the personality and the genuineness and something that will catch our eye, because it is tough when you don't have a referral. It's that much harder, and we totally appreciate that and understand that. So just kind of try to remember that catching our eye with something personal or something like that, it'll help.
Great. Someone said, you guys are giving me great positive vibes, so that's good.
Good.
We're doing our job.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like having drinks with us, guys. Sorry. Okay. So here goes another one. Let me see here. Let's see here. This one's fun. Do you like blonde girls?
That's a trick question.
Shelly.
That's a trick question.
Shelly wants to know, do you like blonde girls?
Of course, absolutely. Here's the question to you in casting. Do you want to cast blonde girls?
No, of course we do. We love blonde girls. There was a time though where Shelly, I am with you. There was a time where no one wanted blonde girls. They were like, no. Yeah. And poor blonde girls were like, hey, what about us? Blondes are back, guys. I will get some now will be like, there's not enough blondes. Like Steinmark is always like, where are the blondes? It's a constant I get. So blonde girls, tell all your blonde friends to start being actors. We don't have enough of them now. And there was a time where we had too many. You are right.
And that's so true.
Yeah. I love them. I think when you're doing, and this is just a background thing, because sometimes I'll say, sure, I'll throw you some people with background. I didn't usually call in blondes for background because you guys stand out really fast. It's just like redheads. You're different, so you kind of pop. For background, I would never have a blonde person go. But for OCP stuff, I would say blondes, take it away, girls. We love you. And blonde guys. Let me tell you something. Blonde guys is so hard to find. So
it's really because for so long it was something that was kind of fought against because of what was being put out there. And now you're right. I'm happy to see that there's more people out there that are booking blondes and more of a middle America kind of vibe again. So it's good. Yeah. We're swinging back the pendulum. I always tell actors this too. It can be super frustrating when your type technically isn't in. Just wait it out. The pendulum will always swing back. That's the beauty of our business.
It's so true. And I was also thinking, I wonder, because, my son was born, what is that called? Towhead?
Towhead?
Is that what it's called, guys, when they're really blonde? They're
blonde?
White. What? Yeah. Hi. When they're really, really blonde, they're so my husband was born towhead. My son was, and my two brothers were. And none of them, now Jack is outgrowing his, and my husband has, almost black-looking hair. And my brothers, one was dirty blonde, one's dark. So I think also it's hard to find men with blonde hair. I wonder if lots of people just outgrow that. That's my new thing. So I'm kind of studying men with blonde hair. If anyone knows what that is.
Did you hear that, guys?
Oh God, I love it. Do you okay, let me hear it. Do you okay, here this is an interesting question. From Avery, do you sign people from anywhere in the world or just in your area?
That is a really great question. I will say that as far as, because this is kind of a two-part question, we will sign people who are here in America on visas, who are from different countries, etc. But in terms of where they're physically living at this time, commercially, they have to be here in LA. It's just, I understand we're in a new world and we don't know how things are going to go with self-tapes and whatnot. But when it comes down to meeting somebody and then having them need to physically audition, at a casting director's office in Los Angeles, and then the subsequent shoot being in Los Angeles, production companies, ad agencies want someone who is right here, right now, ready to go if they want to book you. It makes it hard to sign people who don't live in Los Angeles. Commercially is a little different than theatrical. I know theatrical has a little bit more of a leeway with that, but commercially, you do have to live here.
So BBR is only LA, not New York.
Correct. Yes.
Ah, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
We're
There
not
you go.
coastal.
There you go. Got it. So there you go. Guys, it's got to be in LA if you want to be a BBR. Hear it? Get your butts out here after the pandemic. Let's answer someone random. We're going to switch for a second because we've done so many of these ones. By the way, you guys, awesome questions. We're not even through so many of them. You guys were awesome. Here's one that we're going to tap in right now from Quinn. Am I correct in assuming looks won't be important for someone going into voiceover work? Do you guys have a voiceover department?
We don't have an in-house voiceover, but we have relationships with various different voiceover agencies that we share work with. When it comes to booking voiceover work, that's a very interesting question, because the answer would definitely be that what you look like on camera is not going to be the end all be all for a VO booking.
Right.
So yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm not sure if that's a leading question to something else, but yeah, with voiceover, it's different than on camera. You're never going to be on camera if it's just solidly and solely a VO booking.
Got it.
Yeah.
Who do you guys? So you work with other agencies?
Well, we have relationships with other agents at different VO agencies that we will send people back and forth,
cool.
Especially just referrals and things like that. Certain jobs that come out, they if they don't have somebody, they'll reach out to us, etc. There's a few agencies that we just have special kind of relationships with that just we help each other out in that way.
Got it.
But we don't have an in-house VO. BBR is so much primarily, we're just commercials. It's our, what we know, it's what we've done. That's our whole world is commercials.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, Regina, that answers your question. Will you sign someone just to theatrical if they don't have a ton of credits? So they don't do theatrical. You guys you strictly do commercials.
Yeah, we're commercials.
There you go, guys. You see it, you hear it. Here's another one. Someone's agency is closing because of the virus. Oh no.
Oh, that's awful.
It's hard. It's hard times, you guys. Where do you see the commercial business headed in the future here in LA? Where do you see the commercial business?
It's gonna boom, guys. It's gonna boom, and I'm really looking forward to it. I know that I said this before in one of in the live, I obviously can't see the future, but I'm reading the future, and I'm reading the temperature of what's out there, because I'm in constant communication with ad agencies right now because of renewals and renegotiations, and we're talking about new work that's coming up. Once this thing is over, there is going to be an advertising boom. It is going to go nuts. So just, I keep telling actors, stay patient for right now, you guys. I promise you it's going to get better.
So good. I know when I watched your live, I was like, I think I was having a rough day. I try to have mostly on my positive days, but I happened to tune in and I was like, oh, and then you're live. I was like, yes, it's booming. I went in, I was like, Michael, it's going to boom. Laura said it's going to go crazy. I believe her.
Yes. No, there's going to be.
I think it's going to be great. I have already so many clients being like, hey, I've got jobs. We're sitting, we're waiting, but we're ready, we're ready. So I'm with you. I think that it's going to go nutty. That's why my team, I'm like, yeah, let's do some busy work to keep us busy, but rest up, y'all, because it's going to be
rest up. Exactly. Yeah.
On January, we had 17 jobs in January, and Jana was like, I can't do this. I know you wanted this. You put this on. I'm going to die. This is too many. And now Jana's like, I'm ready for the 17. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm ready. And now we're
no doubt.
We're all ready. So, oh my God, I love it. Let's take another one from here. Let's see. How does it look on your end? Are people still steadily casting? Has it dropped a lot? From St. Lee Marie. I don't know.
I mean, this is what you said initially as well, that it's right now, there's not a whole lot of work going on. There's some, but there's not much. Most of the work that is being cast right now, which is through the self-tape process, I said this as well in the live, you know, a lot of the commercials, and again, there's a few, it's not too many. It's more like feel good commercials on how all of us in society are handling COVID, how we're coming together. These commercials are very specific for what we're dealing with right now in society. Mostly, you know, they have to be, because in so many ways, you know, these actors are being told to shoot at home, you know, like you're having to do these commercial spots, you know, from your computer. There's only so much of a concept that you can do with that idea of shooting at home. So a lot of the creative is just about how we're all getting through this. That's why there's not as many out there. There's not a whole lot of new commercials that are coming out with brand new concepts of people, you know, having to shoot at home. But once this is over, it's gonna get back like right away.
It's funny, I've had a few that we've done, and then they're like, oh, we've canceled that. We'll pay you your fee, because I think they're just feeling weird putting content out right now that's not talking about the virus.
Yes,
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
People are very, very nervous about that. They don't want to come across as being tone deaf. You know, they want to be appropriate for what everyone is doing. And at the same time too, they're not wanting to be advertising, you know, big money spending right now, because they know that you know, people are pulling back, and rightfully so. They're not wanting to be inundated with stuff that they can't afford. You know, everything is kind of in hibernation mode until this is over.
Right. You're so good. Hold on. Another question. Hold, please. Oh, you know, someone had a kid question. You don't rep kids, right?
No, we don't. We're just adults, 18 up. Yeah.
Any advice for kid actors? I mean,
I mean, the best thing that I could say, because we have worked and we have had a youth, you know, department before. We've worked with various youth departments. One of the things that I have sort of, you know, that stuck with me is that the agents are always saying, like, make sure that you're taking as many classes as you possibly can, because it's, you know, it's hard when you're starting out. You don't have a lot of credits, and being a kid actor, you know, you're not expected to have a ton of credits. But what they do love seeing is that effort to be constantly in acting class and getting yourself as much experience as you possibly can. That's like, you know, get your materials done and get your acting classes in order, and keep working on that muscle. It's going to prove to be the best.
I love that. Yeah, we say just get out, just do as much stuff as you can.
Yeah.
Someone had this is from Jones. Any guidance for obtaining studio credits without film or TV representation? And if we have no studio credits, would the list of casting directors we auditioned for in the past be appealing to you on your submission?
I don't know about that. Because, you know, what's interesting is I'm just thinking about, like, what if somebody submitted to me like a huge page long list of all the people that they went in for, and they've got one booking on their resume.
That would be hurtful, right?
That would be hurtful, because I would look at that and go, you've been in to see a lot of people, but they're not booking you. So I'm just thinking, I don't know if that would be super helpful. Sometimes I like to know, like, specifically when I'm meeting with somebody, I will like to know if they booked with somebody. That's a great, you know, that sort of narrows it down a little bit, so that I can, you know what an existing relationship with a casting director might be when I'm meeting them. But as far as like in an email submission, or just a regular submission, I don't think it's necessary to write down all the casting directors that you've been in for.
So I think in the past, what I've said too to people, excuse me, if they want to get into you, is, you know, if they have like a dynamite thing they just shot, that's enough. Like if you have a great Pepsi commercial, that's it.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely.
That's it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you don't have to have all these credits. And what I'd like to say to people, and I say this every single live, is you guys should be going out. I say this a million times, to every, you know, short film that you can get on your hands on. Anybody at, you know, I always give Art Center a shout out. My husband's from Art Center. Michael Bay's from Art Center. They're great, amazing directors come out of there. You should be going, you know, any UCLA, USC, any of those guys are posting things. They need help. They need good actors. And that's a great way to just get in. Like my husband, when he graduated Art Center, he had an amazing reel that looked incredible. And he got picked up by Backyard pretty fast. And those were all spec spots. So some of those
Yeah.
guys are doing incredible spec spots that you could use. And you can always send it. You guys know this. You can always send me stuff, especially now. But send me stuff, and within the next few weeks, I will get back to you. We're trying to watch, me and Taryn are watching as much as we can. But ask us our advice. Like, hey, does this piece look good? And we will give you advice. If like I shot it, don't do it. I'm a casting director, so it's going to be terrible. But like, you know, who knows? Like, if you know you have a really great piece from a guy, you know, at one of these schools that could, or a girl, could be amazing. But my advice is like, don't put up just random stuff, right? Does that turn you off sometimes if it's like yikes city on a reel that just isn't right? Would you rather no reel? Like, what is the thing?
Yeah, that's no, that's absolutely great advice. You know, I always tell actors that you really want to show me footage that you are insanely proud of. Like that's what I want to see when it comes to a reel. Also too, like, you know, this is kind of segueing. It's not just because I'm thinking about it. You know, when I meet somebody and they don't necessarily have footage, I will ask them to put themselves on tape by choosing a quick scene, you know, with an off-screen reader, and they can curate it to what they're proud of, what they think that they're best at. And you don't necessarily need a finished reel with me to do that. I understand that people are in different places in their career. Some people have great footage and some people don't, but I want to see what puts you in the best light. So if a reel has really bad material on it, it's probably not the best to be showcasing.
And you know, guys, I think when I signed with Laura, I don't think I had a great reel. I think you signed me because I was on stage and you saw me.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you guys, I think I said this a million times. If there's any, you should definitely be hanging out at UCB or Groundlings or iOS or any of those places. You know, there was a while that we, for a long time that, you know, because of some SAG things, we in the casting room, we were not allowed to do improv, but now they've changed that. You're allowed to improvise. And so now all these guys that, you know, have all these great improv chops are able to just do their thing in the room. You're not really stuck to the copy. So improv is great, you guys. If you can get, you know, into all those classes, anything on stage, I think comedy, flappers, anywhere that you're just like out, everybody, especially commercials. It's sure some of them are sad. Most of the ones I do are fun and funny and light.
Yeah.
The sad ones, Taryn and I painfully always laugh at first because we're just like, we're not. It's so horrible, but we're like, we just got to get it out because we're just so used to just fun, positive stuff. So, but I always say get those classes are where you should just, and also what was awesome, I know they're all great. I do know UCB, like, because I took it many moons ago when I used to act a million years ago. And you can, like, I think it was like $350 and you get to see a show free every night.
Wow.
As part of it. So it's pretty amazing. Check it out. Maybe it's the same idea, but that seemed like great bang for your buck. So you have 6-week program. Every single night you get to go and watch free theater every night. And you should. If you get in on that program, you should have nothing on your schedule at night. If you're a waiter or a waitress, you should be doing it in the morning so that you can spend your nights there. Because once that door opens at 6, I think you can see all those shows for free. And that's amazing. And that's how you learn. You just
that's
watching
really
people on
great.
their feet. It's incredible. So I remember loving that about that. But yeah, improv is such a fun way to do it. I did a sizzle reel for commercial work. Is that overkill?
I actually read that comment. That's not overkill. I would love to see that as an agent, but I will give some advice on that. You do not want that public for everybody to see. If you know, and I'm not sure if actors are aware of this right now, but when you are up for a commercial, if you're on a veil for a commercial, the ad agency and the clients are going to Google you. They are going to do their research on your name, your background. So if your reel, your commercial reel that you've cut together is up online on YouTube, Vimeo, and it's totally public for them to see, and they see that you've done a competing product even 10 years ago, they're going to take you off the list. And and that's not allowed. They're not supposed to, but it's just the nature of how it works. They don't want somebody in a competing product. Again, even though it's not a current spot. So your commercial sizzles, your commercial reels should be private and useful for when you want to send those reels out for people to take a look at.
That's great advice. I think too, you guys, to kind of bounce off that, if you've been in something that you're questioning, that you're like, don't talk about that in front of agents or clients. I've had people lose jobs over that. Like if they were in something that just had a lot of heat around it, they took them off the table because they were like, I don't think they should be talking about that. Or like, were they involved in that? There's a couple of cases I can't think right off the top of my head, and I kind of don't want to disclose it, but I do know, just keep nice and positive in the room. You know, just keep it nice and quick when you're with clients. I wouldn't talk about anything, even on set, even after you've booked the job, because you could lose the job. They could cut you out of it, even after you've booked it, and anything weird or shady comes up, they just scratch you right out of it, which you don't want. You want to be in that. So,
and somebody actually just mentioned, you know, what about Instagram? And that just kind of gives me one more note to tell, you know, everybody who's listening is you have to be so careful what you put on social media right now. Because you have no idea who the client is. Like you said, Dina, you don't know what way or what political leaning the client goes towards. You don't know, you know, what they believe in, what they don't believe in. You know, you don't know who these people are, and why shoot yourself in the foot when it's just so easy to just be able to, you know, make yourself have a personal account and have your actor account, have your public persona account that they can Google, that they can research, that they can see. You know, because why? You don't want to lose a job over something that's posted on Instagram. You know, it's just not. Oh, that makes me sad.
It's so tricky. You do, guys. I can't give you all the details of something, but I do know a director that loved this actor for something, and because of something political that they wrote a million years ago on their social media, they lost the job. Keep that political stuff till Friday night beers at a bar and talk about it with your friends. I think you're right.
Absolutely.
I think don't talk about stuff. I think, especially as an actor, just keep yourself nice and clean. Post, you know, whatever you want to be known as, but nice and clean. Yeah, you don't want to. It really can mess things up. I think that's great advice. Keep your social media as clean as you can. Clean and mean, guys. Clean and mean. Well, nice, not mean. Clean and nice. You know what I mean, guys. Let's see. Let me answer. We got a few more minutes here. Past agents. Hard to get TV audition without agent to submit, but can't get an agent without a VO reel. Let's see what this says. Hard to get TV auditions. But we're not talking about TV auditions, so that's kind of tricky.
Yeah, I mean, I get what the question is, though. I mean, it's that catch-22 of how do you get the agent without the credits? How do you get the credits without the agent? And listen, you're right. That is a hard catch-22 in any, that could be commercially, that could be, you know, like any realm of what we're dealing with, you know, writers, TV writers, everything. All you got to do is continue to create your own work, create your own content, create, as you said, Dina, at the beginning, make yourself so, you know, watchable that people need to be working with you. And that is just the best, you know, the best advice I could give when it comes to, you know, you don't have the credits, but you have to show the agent that you are worth taking a risk on without having the credits. And that is like, you know, somebody said something like, oh, you know, I have a funny video. Should I post a funny video right now, or should I send a funny video? Like, yes, you have to be creating your own work right now to showcase yourself so that we look at you and go, yes, we want to represent you. We want to work with you. That's the best thing that you can do.
Camille said that too. She said, Laura believes in me without credits, just like me.
Oh.
But you do. I think that's the point. If you get in front of an agent that says, you know, I have too many redheads, you pass. That means that they're not meant for you. You want whoever you meet with to be like, you're awesome, and I need to be working with you. You want to have that feeling. If you have any, you know, and I guess my greatest thing too, I think, is just like you said, be yourself and don't tap dance. I love that. Just like be yourself, because I think we've all been in those positions where we've tap danced and we've been like, shoot, I wish I didn't do that. And I wish I was just myself. I always think, I always say, when I started my business years ago, I remember this one little thing my husband and I were going back and forth on. He's like, maybe you use a lot of exclamation points like that. Maybe it doesn't look as professional. And, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't. And then I was like, woke up and I was like, no, I have to use my exclamation points because it's like who I am.
Right.
And I lost myself as an actor and I didn't want to lose myself as a casting director. I also have a lot of energy. I didn't want people to walk in the room and be like, whoa, where's the girl with the periods and the commas?
Sure.
Like, I wanted them to know, like,
Yeah.
even like my New York people are always like, wow, you've got a lot of energy, in the emails. And I'm like, wait till you get in my room. But it's like, it gives you an idea like right away. So I think my advice to people is always just like, don't lose that. Because once you lose your personality, once you try to hide your accent when you can't do it properly, once you try to hide those things, it's like, know who you are. Like if you're, that's why I feel like I do work a lot in commercial land, because commercials, lots of them tend to be positive and aspirational. And that's who I am. I'm not really dark and, moody. I wish I was super cool like that.
You're not dark and twisty. No dark and twisty.
I wish I was. My husband does the horror films, and I'm like, you're so cool. But I think that's it's because, again, I didn't lose myself once that, I think, and it's really easy as an actor to lose yourself, to be just, to get caught up in the stuff and the
what you think people want to see. Yeah,
exactly.
I get it.
And you guys are like a top agency in town. You guys are top dogs, and you're saying, hey, I want your personality. I don't care if your reel's not amazing.
Absolutely.
That's great advice. It's
Absolutely.
like, you have to, I think, because people stress too much about where's my reel. People stress about that.
Honestly, Dina, I can't tell you how often I meet people all the time who have 0 credits and 0 reel and don't have any real background. And I love them and want to work with them because I see something beautiful in them when I meet them, and I go, oh, this is going to be magic when they get on screen. I see that, and I want to work with that. And commercials allows me to offer that in so many ways, and so if anyone's listening and worried about not having the best reel and not having all the credits in the world, I am sitting here telling you that is not the end all be all for me. It really isn't.
I think that's real. Like, guys, take that in, because again, I remember an agent before I went with Laura at BBR. They it was that. So some people do work like that, but not everybody. I think that's the idea. It's like the same with casting. Some people work like the way I work, and then some people work totally different. I think, you just got to find the right fit. Doesn't mean that I'm right or they're right. It's just the right fit. Like, my clients like me because they like my energy. Some people don't, and then they have other clients. It's like, it's all about a click. And I think it's the same idea for you and your actors. You have to click. You have to have a spark. And so no hard feelings if you get in with Laura and it doesn't click. It's like there's another person out there that it's going to click with. I think that's, because we get, again, so beaten up. I think about that. Showcase. Someone said they found, was it Camille? That she found you found her at a showcase.
Is that what is?
She said, I think you found her at a showcase.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. That's what I would say to people. Just go out and stop waiting for the phone to ring. Before I moved out to LA from New York, I remember I met this lady. I was working at Geico, and I was saving every penny I could to come out to LA. And this one lady, she was like, sweetheart, she was an actor. She's like, I was an actor in my day, and you just always have to have your nails ready and your headshots in your car, and don't wait for the phone to ring. You got to get out there. And she was right. Don't wait for the phone to ring. Don't push off what you can't. It's like, and get a job that's flexible. I know I didn't. Again, I remember it was really cool as a casting director to be like, oh, I can't miss the callback. I've got to quit this job. Like, to the point of like, because as an actor, I'd have to choose the shift over the job. And then it's like, now you've just wasted everybody's time, not only yourself, but everybody's time. So find a job. There's so many jobs now that you can get that is like, so many odd random times, and maybe not right now because it's the pandemic, but after this, guys, we'll figure it out. We'll find some odd jobs for you. But find something where people really can understand.
And that is important. That is really important. That schedule thing is a huge one. You have to have an open schedule for audition.
Do you ask people that in meetings?
Every time. Every single time.
Yeah, because I think
I can tell when people are lying too. And most people don't lie. Usually they understand, like, they have to tell me what's going on, but like, I'm really honest with people when I meet them. Like, you have to have the availability to, to drop everything and go to a last minute audition. And that happens more often than maybe you might think. It happens every day for us, multiple times every single day, and we can't be canceling last minute appointments. Even before the pandemic, I mean, every audition is so precious to us. Every single one is so precious because it could be the make it or break it of a booking. And so we can't have people canceling. You just can't.
Before we tag off, will you tell us how you got started as an agent?
Oh my gosh. Sure. I mean, it's funny. I honestly was a performer as well before. I was a dancer.
That's why we get along so well.
I was a ballet dancer my whole life. No, I wanted to, I actually made a decision. I was a dancer. I actually worked professionally. I was in a company. I'm actually originally from Canada. So I was doing that. And I made the decision at 17, because I was pro at 13. I needed to stop what I was doing because I was going to have a career until I was about 30, and then I wouldn't anymore because that's how a ballet dancer career works. So I decided to come down to Los Angeles and take. I really had no idea what I was going to do. I was going to test out the waters on a bunch of different things, and I ended up falling into an assistant position over at an agency that is no longer around. And I just worked my way up, and I ended up, becoming one of the top agents at that agency after working my way up. I just realized very quickly once I got into the agenting world that this is what I wanted to be doing, because I got the same excitement out of booking actors, out of, negotiating contracts and doing the work that I do. I got the same excitement that I got when I was performing, and I was like, okay, I have to listen to this. I have to go with it. And
yes,
it's been that, I love what I do. I love my job. I feel so bad for people. I talk to them all the time and they hate what they do for a living. I'm like, I love what I do. I'm so thankful.
I know. I think that's why you and I get along so well, is because we are the same, like so similar in that, like we both have performance backgrounds and we both love what we do and we can feel it. You guys, just so you know, like Laura and I will communicate sometimes middle of the night, first thing in the morning, like we nonstop work. We are crazy working women. You guys do the same thing in your craft. Never let the phone go. Just be on it. You never know when things are going to pop in or pop out. And you've always been, from the second I met you, Laura, I was like, oh God, she's like the hardest working girl in this town.
Oh.
And it's true. You just like gave everything. And Laura used to take me, like we would go out, we'd like take the time and go out for lunch all the time. Yep. And that should be the relationship with your agent. And that, guys, was like when I was an actor waiting tables. It's like, so we're almost done. We're going to give you some advice. We spitball. First of all, let's give Laura 1,000,000 hearts, you guys. Let's give her so many hearts right now. Oh my God, we love you. This is amazing. Like seriously, my heart has exploded. I love hanging out with you. This has been so cool for these guys to just hear you. And if we've missed anything, we will tag again. I'm going to make a note of all the questions we've missed. And but look at all those hearts. I love hearts.
You guys, thank you so much. Dina, I love you so much. This has been the best. And I love talking with you. I love talking with actors. I love everything about this. I love it. So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me on.
I'm so honored. I was like, yay, Laura, it's going to come on. So yeah, thank you. You're amazing. And thanks for always being just so wonderful to work with. Just casting to like, agent, you've always been just amazing. And so we love you. I've always loved you. Damn at you. Guys, Laura, what do you got to say? What do you think?
Just keep your chin up, you guys. Honestly, this is almost over. I really fully believe that. Just keep your chin up. Know that we're going to get better and the work will be out there, you guys. I'm promising you that. It's coming back and it's going to come on strong.
There you go, you guys. So you hear that? Be positive. I love this. Inspire. People are saying inspire. It's crazy times. Get out there. I run every day. Do something that's active so you guys